Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Divey welcoming you to another Degrassiism, and for the first time in a while, I'm doing a poll video. Now, I actually was doing polls for a while, and then Degrassi went dark. Degrassi Reddit went dark, and I also had other things to worry about, so just basically doing a stretch. So there were six moments that and about the Emma and Manny friendship. So this is basically the top 6 worst things that Emma did to Manny during their friendship and all that. Now, when I look at the poll video, I look at first place with so many votes and like over 50%. The bottom 3, numbers 4, 5, 6, have 6 votes combined. And third place had 16. So yeah. So everyone knows about this whole Emma Manny friend dynamic and how Degrassi Reddit for the past month and a bit have been basically on Emma's case about being a bad friend to Manny and all that. And how Emma was so pretentious and self-righteous, and even though that her character kind of got reset in season 5, she just had some problems. So anyway, when I look at the comments they have said and all that, is that there's a couple that are really huge and all that. So here we go. From order from 6 to 1, because Degrassi Reddit will only allow me to do 6. I actually struggled to do a 6th one. But anyway, here we go. Number 6 on the list with 1 vote was the Cheerleading Crusade in season 1. So one of Emma's first key activist moves in Degrassi Next Gen was about cheerleading. Paige is excited because she's going to set up a cheerleading thing at the school called Spirit Squad. And then she tells somebody that, I know people are thinking cheerleading is sexist, but no, we're going to have guys on the team too. Like, as a mascot and maybe male cheerleaders. Emma still is not pleased and still does not like it. She tries out for Spirit Squad, doesn't do it, and Manny does. Emma feeling a little jaded. Looks at Paige and Manny. Manny's her best friend and tells Manny that, Paige is a prick and all that, saying cheerleading, and says cheerleading is very sexist. I'm going to write an op-ed about it. Manny's not too pleased with it. Of course, Paige isn't too. It's like, I don't get why Emma's doing this. Now, Emma, when she thinks of sexism, it's not gender. It's sexism, as in cheerleaders are made to be bimbos and all that. Her crusade goes huge. She gets an op-ed in the school newspaper thanks to Liberty. But Paige, realizing this could ruin Spirit Squad, tells Manny to rip everything out. But Emma complains that her voice is being silenced and all that. Like, there was no clear-cut winner. Well, Emma kind of got her op-ed, but Spirit Squad, or the Power Squad, continues. And Manny's still on it. So Emma admits that she was a little jealous to Manny, but, she tried to do it out of love. Ugh. Number 5 on the list with 2 votes is pulling strings to ensure Manny and her were college roommates in season 8. Now, it was a messy situation. Like, Degrassi decided to give us some college storylines involving Emma, Manny, and Liberty. All at Smithdale. Now, of course, Liberty wasn't supposed to be at Smithdale. She was supposed to be at Banting. But because Davian was at Banting and Davian kind of cheated on Emma with Liberty, she didn't want to be a bad guy. So she decided to not go to the same school as Davian. She owed it to Emma. Although, I would not blame Manny one bit, Liberty one bit for not wanting to be involved with Emma. So anyway, at the start of season 8, Manny and Liberty are roommates, which is fine. But Emma realizes she's in a different floor, so she basically is upset over it. Now, I actually read this a couple days ago that Manny and Emma were supposed to set themselves up to go to apply for college, get in, and then become roommates, but there was a snafu and all that. It was Manny and Liberty that were roommates, not Manny and Emma. But Emma basically pulled strings to ensure that Manny, Liberty, and her were roommates, and that they were moving with Kelly. Emma thought that Kelly was a girl, but no, Kelly's a guy's name too, unfortunately. So of course everyone's upset with Emma doing that, and Emma, I think, would not have been able to pull that off in real life. But Emma was just like, I don't know anyone, but Manny and Liberty do apologize for not wanting to be Emma's roommate, but Emma said, no, I found some people, and, we're going to hang out and all that. Emma was just worried about losing Manny and Liberty as friends because, they're in a different room. But, I mean, Emma would have been allowed to come to stay with Manny and Liberty for a while in the dorm and all that. So, Emma wasn't completely shut out, but Emma just had some clingy friend face. That was huge. And then, she kind of has Kelly when Manny was supposed to be with Kelly. And all that, but that broke off too soon. Yeah, Emma in college was just basically a mess. She was more in tune with making friends than grades and all that. All right, number 4 with 3 votes in the poll was her behavior in If You Leave season 6. So, of course, a couple of episodes before If You Leave was Rock This Town. The famous one when JT was stabbed in the aorta by Drake Lampley and Johnny DeMarco. Well, Johnny DeMarco watches Drake Lampley did that to JT. Why? I don't know. Anyway, so there was a party thrown at Emma's house because with Spike and Snake out of the house, and Manny upset over not having Craig. She decided to throw Liberty a birthday party. So Liberty is happy she has a birthday party. Of course, JT is involved because JT's dating Mia, who was the ex of Nick, who kind of runs the Lakehurst Mafia or the Lakehurst gang and all that. And they don't like JT dating Mia. Of course, JT says he has feelings for Liberty too, despite the fact that Liberty did kind of push him away in season 5 and was jealous of JT's relationship with Isabella, Mia's kid. The fact of the matter is that, JT gets stabbed in the aorta and Emma feels bad. There was an episode about Toby's problems after JT's death and with Liberty showing emotion. And then the next episode was If You Leave, when Manny's mom comes in and says that you can come back live with us because Manny was kicked out in season 5 for not bowing down to her dad. So because of the whole stabbing and all that, they think that Manny's in a bad spot, so they decide to allow Manny to come back. Emma's not too pleased about it. Manny says, we'll have a girls' night, don't worry. But then she blows girls' night off, and Emma starts to fume. And then Emma is upset that, Manny blew her off, and he's moving out. Okay, that's one thing. Then the next thing is this stupid cheerleading competition at Degrassi, and Lakehurst was invited. And Emma says, we're dancing on JT's grave. And Manny says, no, we're going to do something in tribute to JT. They have this whole spirited debate about whether the cheer competition should happen. And Snake said at the end that, logistically, we can't postpone it or cancel it because lots of things have been made. So the Degrassi does their routine with a weird song, a bubbly song. I don't know. I'm alive and all that. And that is an insult to JT. But Emma also blows up when Manny is seeing Damien, who is the student council president of Lakehurst. And Mia, who was a former Lakehurst student, points out to Damien that Damien has connections to Drake Lampley through his family. Damien doesn't give a straight answer. Manny's upset with Emma for pushing the issue. But then Emma leads the Go Home Lakehurst chants that ruin Lakehurst's stuff. Degrassi wins, but kind of by cheating. Degrassi ends up brawling with Lakehurst after Manny blows off at Emma, and Emma says, it doesn't matter, you won the competition, they're not going to care about this. And Damien makes a snide comment saying that Manny's the only friend that deals with Emma. You're lucky to have Manny as a friend. And then Lakehurst brawls. Emma gets a month's worth of detention. Snake's not too happy about it. Emma blows off at Snake, saying that we can't have this at our school and all that, and everyone's moving on from JT's death, and I'm not happy about it. And Snake says, I know you're upset by the chain of events, but this isn't directed at Lakehurst, this is directed at Manny, how you're trying to make Manny the bad guy for moving on, and says that, Emma, you and Manny are friends, you should be reminded of that. Time you knew. And so Emma shows Manny the curb when JT died and said that, it's in reminder stick. And then Emma, oh my gosh, Manny says, Emma, I know you're upset by this, but you're trying to make me the bad guy. And Emma's like, well, it didn't work, did it? And then Manny says, we're team, Emma. You have to remember that. We can work through things together. So, in essence, Emma basically was upset over Manny moving on. Now, Aspen J, who's a pretty good Degrassi creator, did a short, I guess she did a video on why Emma and Manny's relationship sucked. But then she did a short that said that, Emma's reactionary thing in season 6 was maybe a move because she was scared that with Manny moving on, she had to live with herself and her poor choices as boyfriend and all that. And I think she wanted Manny as protection. I don't know how I did it. I completely forgot. Number 3 on the list, but 16 votes, was scolding her for season 3's for perceived sexuality. So season 3 starts with a few episodes, and then comes Manny wanting to be sexy because she hears from Paige and Spinner about this guy named Sully, who's interested in her, but Sully doesn't like cute. And Manny says, dogs are cute, puppies and kittens are cute. I don't want to be cute. Well, perceived cute. I'm not cute. I want to be hot, not cute. So she decides to dress up in a way that makes Emma cringe. Emma basically is not too pleased with it. But Manny's getting people to her environmental club, and Emma's happy about it. But then when Emma realizes that she's getting the wrong attention and nobody cares about the environment, she blasts Manny. And Manny says, it's all about you, isn't it? I helped you deal with Spike and Snake's problems and all that. And your environmental club. It's not stupid, Emma says. Like, Emma used Manny's hotness to help the environmental club, but then Emma realized that, oh dear, maybe I was wrong, and blows up at Manny. Manny's hotness is so much that JT bumps into things twice. Raditch gets mad at her for wearing her thong outside her pants. It's a school dress code thing. No visible underwear. That is actually true. All schools have that. No visible underwear. I mean, why would you want to show your underwear? Manny could wear cute jeans and all that. Her hip huggers and all that. Raditch didn't have problems with those. It was just the underwear outside the pants thing. So Manny decides to go commando. Fortunately, JT saves her from embarrassing herself. And I think Emma was trying to push JT onto Manny, saying that, it's a perfect relationship and all that. Emma probably trying to think that she knows what's best for Manny, but no, it did work out that way. And then it came to a head in season 3 when Emma has eyes on Chris after Sean and her broke up. But then Emma learns Chris has a girlfriend, and even though there was a big argument, Emma felt bad and wanted to console Chris and try to steal Chris from his girlfriend, but then realizes she's not that way and decides to leave the rave. Meanwhile, Manny has eyes on Craig, and, they leave together, leaving Emma high and dry, and Emma has to run back by herself and finds Manny and Craig sleeping in the basement where Emma is because Emma gave up her room for baby Jack. And, they're having coitus in her bed, and Emma's upset by it and decides to sleep on the floor. Emma tries to blast Manny stuff. Manny says, hey, you stayed at the rave. And Emma says, yeah, but then I decided Chris has a girlfriend. I can't be that evil. And I left. So they basically yell at each other, and then Manny wants to break off the friendship, saying, I don't want to be friends with a prude princess like you. And Emma gives the famous line, I don't want to be friends with a school slut line. I mean, people blast Emma for that. Like, Not a Vampire actually said that Emma was right in making that line. Emma was just worried about Manny. It wasn't that way, but Emma had a right to. I mean, yeah, she was trying to say too much. Manny, you're the school slut. You're better than this, and all that. Of course, Manny ends up getting impregnated by Craig, and then, the love triangle with Craig, Ashley, and Manny was huge. And yes, it does lead to number 2, because guess what number 2 is with 35 votes? Not 100% being there for Manny during her abortion storyline in season 3. So, of course, Manny is pregnant, and the episode Accents Will Happen actually aired in Canada. No big deal. But in the States, it took 2 years before they decided to air it. But mostly because Cassie Steele, the actress who played Manny, did that as part of a staff pick, as a cast pick. And Nickelodeon had to, like say, Teen Nick had to shrug their shoulders and say, okay, fine, but we're not liking this one bit. So yeah, so Manny gets impregnated by Craig. She isn't sure about having the kid. She actually feels happy with it, with Craig. But then Ashley decides to tell everyone Manny's pregnant. And a lot of people get on Ashley's nerves for that. But Ashley had a right to. She was burned by Craig. She was trying to destroy Craig more than Manny. But the weird thing is Ashley came back to Craig because Craig did a sappy song and won Ashley back. What the heck? Ashley, you had every right to blast at Craig and then you get easily won't go back. I guess Ashley wanted to be with Craig so badly she was willing to buckle. Ashley. And then, she and Craig actually decide to babysit Emma's infant brother, Jack, to see if their parenting skills were up to par, which they weren't, and all that. So Manny starts to worry about being a mother. Add to the fact that, Spike knew about Manny's pregnancy and told Manny, maybe your parents will be okay with this. But Manny says, not so sure because my cousin was sent to the Philippines to a convent. Because, foreign parents sometimes have their customs over everything else. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just saying that. But in fairness, Manny was upset that Emma said there's great adoption agencies and all that. You can't do this. Well, Manny says, I'm going to abort the baby. And she's got her mom's blessing. Emma's not too pleased with it. And then Manny decides to tell Craig she's getting the abortion. Craig's not too happy with it and decides to slander Manny. Now, the fact of the matter is that Craig could have easily have said that he wanted this baby because it's his true family. I mean, his parents are dead. Joey, he doesn't feel as a father at times. And all that. Yeah, so a couple of people basically said that the whole abortion thing was terrible. Puzzle-headed said, I think at the end of the abortion plot, well, Emma had her own beliefs. She shut Craig down real quick. When he tried to convince Manny, she had to go through with it. Even if she felt one way, she still ended up being there for Manny, and she didn't hold it against her. But one person said that, they made Manny's abortion all about herself. That's the problem, though. Like, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Like, Emma did a good thing helping Manny out with Craig. But the fact of the matter is that Emma basically said, this is how I feel about it. Made it all about her and not Manny's thing. But she did say it is the woman's right to choose and all that. That's my stance. It's the woman's right to choose. The guys shouldn't have anything to do with this. The abortion angle. If the woman doesn't want to have the kid, fair enough. But it could be for myriad reasons. But all I'm saying is that it's the woman's right to choose. They're the ones carrying the child. They're the ones who have to deal with the childbirth symptoms and maybe postpartum and all that. Guys don't. Guys don't carry the baby. Guys have to support the woman. The fact of the matter is that, Emma made it all about herself. And, she still could have her anti-abortion views, but still support Manny, saying that it's Manny's right to choose. And if she wasn't my best friend, I'd be ticked. Which led me thinking, hang on, Emma and Manny broke off as being friends, but I guess they got back together beforehand. And number one, by far, there was 200 votes in this. And with 143 votes, was dating Peter behind Manny's back in season 5. That's 71.5% voted for this. I think this was the highest number one in a poll by percentage ever. Even, Emma's biggest thing was dating Peter. Like, when I ranked the top 10 Emma mistakes in the show's run. Yeah, and dating Peter behind Manny's back. But remember, this is the top worst thing that Emma did to Manny during their friendship. By far. Yeah, everyone said all of that. Yeah, a lot of people, it's like, it boils everyone's blood. And while Emma was not the greatest friend, this action showed Emma had no compassion or understanding for Manny and what she'd gone through. It's one thing to have a different opinion. It's another to throw away your morals and turn your back on your best friend just because you think the guy's cute and he sleeps in a shitty bedroom. That's just It just doesn't make sense. It boggles the mind why Emma would freaking do this. And the fact of the matter is, she knew about Manny's problems. So the storyline was that in season 5, Emma was angry she didn't have a boy. She wanted to lust after a boy. She hadn't had one since Sean left her emotional trailer park in ruins, as she puts it. And then she sees Peter, and then finds out Peter's a student at Degrassi, and then makes the line, "Hi, Peter, I'm Degrassi. Welcome to Emma." And then, thinks Peter's cute. But Peter has eyes for Manny at a party Manny and Emma go to. Manny tries to convince Peter that Emma is the one that you should be with. But Peter then films her lifting her shirt up, saying, "I'm going to be famous." And then after Manny destroys Peter's camera, Peter demands the $3,000 to fix it, or else he'll release the video and all that. Of course, he had the video before the camera got smashed. Manny tries to get the $3,000 but fails miserably, and Peter says, "Okay, fine, that's it." But then Manny says, "Okay, fine, I'll date you, we'll do whatever you want." Peter says, "Too late," and puts it to the whole school to see, and everyone is shocked. Emma is shocked, but not at that reason. Emma's shocked that Manny was where Peter was, and says, "I recognize that bedroom anywhere. What are you doing? You're trying to steal my guy." And Manny says, "No, Emma, you got it wrong. Oh, I wasn't trying to steal Peter. He blackmailed me." And Emma didn't believe her. But it took Manny being shat upon and, with nowhere to stay, that Emma finally realized what she had to do. Well, I think Snake and Spike may have prodded her, but Emma decides to take Manny in and, be a good friend and all that. But that doesn't excuse much on Emma's part in that episode, season 5 premiere. I think it's it's Venus. But later on in season 5, Emma decides to get revenge porn on Peter, to get revenge and help Manny out, which was great. It's like, well, Emma's onto something. But then she sees Peter's shirtless pics and then realizes, oh my God, he's gorgeous, and I'm going to have a guy that loves me for me. And for some strange reason, she decides to go after Peter. Their relationship is almost ruined when Peter's mom, as in Hatzalakos, and Emma's stepdad, aka Snake, had a tryst and all that. Emma then has her problems trying to maintain order and all that. Despite the fact she got Snake and Spike back together, she still is terrible and all that. And then she finally decides to tell Manny that Peter and her are dating and all that. The stress of this being a forbidden relationship must have gotten in Emma's head. But everyone is shocked why she would date Peter. But to Peter's credit, Peter did try to help Emma with the eating disorder and try to help Manny out. Then team up to cheer up Emma. And it kind of works. Emma goes to the hospital for an eating disorder and she gets better and all that. And yeah, Emma and Peter end up dating, which Manny approves of, which should not have happened. I don't know why. And then all of a sudden, Emma basically goes with Sean instead of Peter, because Peter ruins things for Emma by being jealous of Sean, because Manny told Peter about Sean and Emma's past, and Peter was scared, and it just pushed Emma away. But still, Emma dating Peter behind Manny's back, or dating Peter with Manny's knowledge, was irresponsible on her part. And the worst part is, yes, of course, this has to do with the Rick Murray situation, because guess what? Emma's character got reset in a different direction and all that. If it wasn't for the Rick Murray situation, there's no doubt that Emma would never have dated Peter. She would have thought twice about it. She was like, my morals are very important. But Emma's morals just took a back seat to her trying to be normal, like Manny and all them, trying to, try to be normal, quote unquote normal. After the Rick situation ruined her. And, the writers didn't do anything with Emma's character. Didn't say that Emma had her problems because of Rick, and that, it reset her in the wrong direction. Seasons 1 to 4, Emma would definitely never have gone near Peter. But the writers screwed everything up. So the writers are to blame, not Emma.